Most people seem to think that Bambu Lab makes the perfect 3D printer, but if you're a teacher like me, it actually could be the worst choice for your makerspace or your classroom. I've spent over 7 years and thousands of hours printing across 3 major 3D printer brands, and I'm here to tell you why Bambu Lab may not be the best fit for you and what I might recommend instead.
Now, personally, I absolutely love my Bambu A1. I think it is the best machine that I've worked with. I love the whole of Bambu Lab's ecosystem. It's hard to beat. Their print speed, reliability, the amount of products that they offer, the size of printers that they offer, it's just incredible. So why would I encourage you to not use Bambu Lab? Well, to be honest, there's something called COPPA. Or COPA, I don't know exactly how you pronounce it, but it's the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which essentially prohibits a school from using anything that could collect data from children under 13, which some of my students are. So I had the order ready to go to get the X1 carbon for my classroom, and luckily I didn't press go on that because my school district would have nixed that. So it might be the worst simply because you might waste your money if you are a high school or a makerspace that might be serving kids. If I had my preference, Bambu Lab would be what I've picked, but district won't allow it, which is perfectly fine. So with Bambu Lab out of the running, what do I recommend instead? Well, to be perfectly honest, I have two that I think are pretty solid options for you in your classroom or makerspace, but you want to stick around for number one because I really think this will give you an edge in terms of giving your students the best quality prints for your classroom. Even if you aren't a teacher, I do think this is valuable information for anybody who's looking to get into 3D printing or might be looking for a little bit more added privacy. Now, I would like to preface this by saying none of this is sponsored. All of these thoughts are my own. This just comes from thousands of hours of utilizing a bunch of different 3D printer brands, putting some together, and just observing a lot of quality prints leaving my classroom. I'm going to start with my runner-up choice, which is the Ultimaker brand of 3D printers. I've had the most experience with this brand. We've had 10 in my classroom for as long as I've been at my current high school. They're really solid machines, and again, I've been working with these for a really, really long time. In 6 of my 7 years of education, Ultimakers are all that we've had. It's been really, really nice working with these machines, and I've had the opportunity to work with the Ultimaker S3s, the Ultimaker 2 Plus, the Ultimaker 2 itself, and lastly, the Ultimaker 3 Extended. So let's get into some of the pros and then some of the cons of having these machines in your classroom. First off, they're COPPA certified, which means that you can use them in your classroom. The Ultimaker slicer itself, Cura, is really nice to use and also does not collect any data from your students, which means you're good to go in that department. Next, quite honestly, I love how easy they are to work on. Across my 7 years, I've had a ton of opportunity. I'll call it opportunity. Necessity, I guess, is the more correct term, to work on these 3D printers, disassemble, reassemble, remove clogs, change nozzles, the whole 9 yards. Pretty much if there's something on the Ultimaker that broke, I had the opportunity to fix it. And they are very easy to work on. They're bulletproof. They reassemble really nicely. I beat them up pretty good and they still produce decent prints throughout the life of the machines, which at this point, they're probably pushing 10 years old. So like I said, we had 10 Ultimaker 3D printers ranging from those options mentioned before, and I've only really had one major issue, which is pretty awesome, and that was that one of the temperature sensors needed replacing. That's really it. The rest of it has been basic maintenance, like changing a nozzle. I've had like printer blobs where it kind of collects around the nozzle, but other than that, I really haven't had much of an issue at all with these. They've produced quality prints, and again, we've had different prints not sticking to the build plate and stuff, but that's across any 3D printer brand. You're going to have that happen at some point. But above all, one major issue across 7 years is pretty crazy. Lastly, I'm a huge fan of the S3 dual nozzle. It's just really nice to be able to do multicolor prints for students with the same nozzle. There's no waste, there's no purge besides the purge tower. It's just a really nice system overall. Now, on to some difficulties with these printers. Again, I've had 7 years of experience with them, so I do know their pros and cons pretty well, I would say. And first off, the Ultimakers that we are working with are pretty old. Now, again, that's not a fault of the Ultimaker itself. That's just maybe a fault of the school. But in terms of 3D printing technology, that is ancient compared to how old they are. So the Ultimaker S3 released in 2019, I believe. So you can think of just the steps in the last year that 3D printing has taken. So to say that it's 7 years old at least is pretty insane. So those printers are ancient in terms of technology, and while they're still decent, there is a lot better on the market. Now, with that being said as well, so they have released those in 2019, but if we look at the price of those, the Ultimaker S3 right now is listed at about $4,000, which is a pretty expensive machine. Now, dual nozzle aside, that is a great technology to have, but a 6-year-old, 7-year-old printer, that's $4,000 is tough pill to swallow, especially for education, as you know, budgets are being tightened a little bit. So it's hard to justify that, especially with other printers in the $1,000 range you can buy 4 of for the same price as one printer. It's a pretty hard thing to pass up, to be perfectly honest. Now, there is also, I mean, frankly, again, we talked about the age of these, but the Ultimaker S8, which they just released a little bit ago, is a pretty solid printer that's priced at $8,500. So I do think they cater more to the engineering production of 3D prints, but even still, $8,500 is a really expensive printer, and it would just be tough for that price point to make its way into your classroom unless you have really high funds and maybe a budget that doesn't necessarily have a top end. This could be a great option for you. In addition, the speed is just pretty low. We consistently find solid print speed for our printers at about 80 millimeters per second-ish. 100 millimeters we can work with, but we notice far more print failures at that speed. 100 millimeters a second is pretty good, but a lot of the other printers are going to be about twice that at maybe your base speed. So we're able to produce more quality prints with other machines. So again, that's kind of another thing that works its way into maybe these being my second choice. So all of that to say, I think Ultimaker is a really solid brand. I really do. I enjoy working on them. I enjoy working with them. Once you get them dialed in, they are really nice to work with. But it's just an expensive ecosystem to get into. You are going to pay for that up front. And then you're going to be paying for potentially outdated ways of manufacturing, 3D printing, electronics, etc. So again, high quality printer. And if you have the budget, I could not recommend them more. It's just, I think there's better bang for your buck. Now, before we get to the number 1 printer, I just want to thank you for watching up to this point. I really enjoy talking 3D printing, and if you do as well, I would love it if you like the video, subscribe. In addition, my father actually started his YouTube channel as well. It's Easy Backyard Bites. I'll link that down in the description below. If you're into cooking, grilling, smoking meats, etc., he's got a really cool channel with a bunch of really neat recipes, really simple, really easy. That's his goal. So take a look at that if you're interested, and then send me a screenshot showing that you subscribed, and I would think that's awesome. I'll shout you out in the next video. In addition, if there's anything you think I've missed, anything to add to my thoughts on the Ultimaker or the Bambu Lab ecosystem as a whole, please leave them down below. I'd love to get into a discussion with you guys. Now, to my number 1 recommendation, it's got to be Prusa. We got a Prusa Core 1 for my classroom, and it is absolutely amazing. I love that brand. Again, I'm not sponsored or anything by them, nor is my classroom, but my goodness, are they just, it's chef's kiss. So good to work with. Now, they have the reputation of producing high quality prints. They have the reputation of just print, and they're going to be reliable, and they're going to output the same quality every time, and I have absolutely noticed that. We haven't had it for as long as I would like to, but I've certainly been putting it through the ringer, and there have been a ton of just high quality prints that it's producing. It's quick, it's relatively quiet, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I'm just blown away with the quality so far. So why would I recommend Prusa? Well, to start, just the opportunity for it to be reliable is incredibly important. So with the Ultimakers, we've had quite a few experiences where the prints, we leave for the day, the prints are working totally fine, you come back, and there's all sorts of a spaghetti mess that overnight it just, for whatever reason, decided to break off, let go from the build plate, what have you. Now, with the Prusa printers, again, that reliability is just top shelf. And the ability to have something printing, you come back and it's going to be complete, or at least continue to be printing, is a huge bonus for us. If a kid has a project, that breaks overnight, or the printer breaks, then they're set back on their project itself. So the reliability is just huge. In addition to that speed, being able to produce, twice the speed of the Ultimakers means that we're producing twice as many projects. It's hard to beat. Second, it is COPPA certified. The slicer itself, you don't have to log into. The students can download it on their computer. Again, it's not going to save any of your presets or anything, but it will work. The students aren't going to have any data collected, and it is certified for us to use in our classroom, which is a huge bonus. Next, the PEI sheet is just a game changer. With the glass build plates, a lot of times we have to add glue to those, and then the students are struggling to get those prints off the build plate and having to use sharp tools to get that off. But with the PEI build plate, just the bend and pull off, it's just been super nice. And I do think it's an added safety measure for our students that I certainly don't take for granted. I love the user interface as well, the touchscreen or the dial. I'm partial to the dial for whatever reason. I think it's just a really solid system. The touchscreen's really responsive. It's just altogether a really nice machine. And then lastly, let's talk price. So we bought the kit for around $1,200. I think it was $11.49 at the end of the day. It did take me about 18 hours to put together. I'll put a video out on that here in a little while. So it was definitely a process, an investment, but I was appreciative of the quality and the ability to learn more about the machine through the assembly process. So I would highly recommend that if you're thinking about these machines and you're in a classroom where you may have to repair these or even a print farm, I think this could really be a worthwhile machine to get into. The quality is really high. I was impressed with it. It seems that when it's necessary to repair those machines, it's going to be easy to do so. And I was just a big fan of that. And frankly, that price point, again, you could buy 3 machines and still have money left over instead of buying one Ultimaker S3 or even, the higher brands of the Ultimakers. So 3 machines or one. With money left over, I'm probably taking the 3 machines. Even though it doesn't have that dual nozzle capability, you can invest a little bit in an MMU3 or any similar multicolor system for a different brand of printer. So I have had some difficulties with the Core 1. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. So one of the big things that I am not a huge fan of is the wobble. It does tilt and move quite a bit when the printer is at full speed. I can tell, especially when I'm talking to my students or giving a demonstration or presentation or something, you can hear that clacking pretty good in the background. I do slow it down when I'm about to talk about a preparation, but I would like it to be relatively silent. Now, it is pretty good when it's easy and ready to go, but at the end of the day, there's some points where you can see it rattle and you can hear it rattle, which is, again, not necessarily the most important thing, but it is something that's kind of annoying that we've noticed so far. So we're going to try and stabilize that a little bit, but it is certainly rocking back and forth quite a bit. So if you're a hobbyist 3D printer or you have a print farm, it's hard to beat the Bambu Lab ecosystem. But if you're a teacher or an individual chaperoning a makerspace, you have to keep in mind those things that involve the collection of data for your students. So I think it's hard to beat the Prusa ecosystem. And if you have a higher budget and want some the highest quality of engineering level 3D printers, Ultimaker is a pretty good bet as well. So let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts about this are. I would really like to hear from you. Let me know if you have other brands that you think might pop into this top 2 here. And let me know if you agreed with my thoughts and agreed with my listing. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate your time. If you liked the video, appreciate you subscribe and like it. But other than that, I hope you have a great day and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.